Hi Year 3. So I wanted to make a really lovely, sparkly fact of the day for a Monday morning. So today we have got 5 times 6, which is 30, which is the same as 6 times 5. I've shown it using my stickers. I've shown it using 50p's. I wonder how many pounds you can see there. Doing some divides, you can do some mega facts. I've also got out the Numicon to show that 6 lots of 5 equals 30. I wonder how you will do your fact of the day page today. And remember, all of this will help you towards getting your green Master of Maths Facts card and also really embedding those facts. Okay, so what you are going to need today is your large sheets for your beanstalks, because we're going to be measuring our beanstalks today, finally. And also something to measure with. Now, hopefully, in one of your packs, you will all have had a ruler. So you should all have a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, if it got lost or something like that, hopefully in the house you might have a tape measure. So it might be a soft one like this, or it might be a metallic one, which you retract, which you use to measure things around the house. If you really haven't got anything, at a push, you might be able to use your number line that you got in your last pack. So you need your beanstalk sheet and some things for measuring. So to warm up your measuring brain before we start on our beanstalk task, why not just grab a few things from around the house and your measuring implement, whether that's a ruler or a tape measure, and let's just remind ourselves how we measure. So we'll start off with this. I'll move these things out of the way. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get our ruler, and we don't measure, I mentioned this last week, we don't measure right from the end of the ruler because that's not where the 0 is. The 0 starts from the first big line. So the first big line is where the 0 is. So you must make sure that first big line lines up with the end of your object, wherever that might be. And you can spend some time making sure that's really precise. Now, going to the end. In Year 2, you probably would have said, oh, that's about 12 centimetres. But now we're in Year 3, we want to be a bit more precise. So looking at it, I would say it pretty much comes to here, which is 12.5 centimetres. If you wanted to be even more precise, you might say, well, actually, it's 12 centimetres and 4 millimetres. So these are the centimetres, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. The millimetres are these tiny little lines in between the centimetres. So 1 centimetre, the slightly longer line there is half a centimetre, and each one of these teeny tinies are millimetres. Now, depending on how long something is, you might decide how you're going to measure it. So if you're measuring something very small, like a little cube, you might use the millimetres. That's actually exactly 1 centimetre, okay? If it's 1 centimetre, how many millimetres do you think that is? That's right, it's 10. If we counted every single one of these tiny lines, that would be 10 millimetres. So, we've measured this, we found it was 12.5 centimetres, was that right? Yep, 12.5 centimetres. We've measured the small block, that was 1 centimetre. Let's measure something a bit bigger now. Tell you what, this time I might use my tape measure. Now this time, the end of my tape measure, even though you can't see it, is actually 0. So I will measure right from the end of there. I'm going to put that at the very end of the torch, so not that bit of the torch, but the end of it. Okay, lie it down nice and flat. Oh, it's tricky because it wants to roll away. Oh, now again, if you can see that, it comes to round about here. So that is 15.5 centimetres. 15 centimetres and 5 millimetres, so 155 millimetres. If you counted every single little one of these lines, it would be 155, but I'm not going to spend my time doing that. Okay, and then finally, I might go back to my ruler because I know that's what you've all got at home, or we should have at home. So I'm going to measure my lovely Scarab Ray book. I did enjoy all our Stone Age work we did on Scarab Ray. So again, not to the end of the ruler, but to the 0 line, coming to the end, and that one is exactly 23 centimetres. So have a little look around your house, your room. What things can you measure? What's the difference between them? Can you look at millimetres and centimetres? Right, when you're all warmed up, we'll move on to our beanstalk sheet. Okay, so for your main task today, we are going to look at our beanstalk sheet. Excuse me. So name at the top, you've already got your TLP there. Can I measure accurately using centimetres? Or, as a challenge, even better using centimetres and millimetres. So you need to measure from the root to the tip. Use the black dots as a start and ending point. Remember to write the unit of measurement. That just means, are you using centimetres or millimetres? Okay, and it says Jim has measured one for you. So he's done B. Now let's check that Jim is correct. So again, now, if you have a ruler like this side with these giant measurements are inches, and it tells you that here, inches. We don't want to be measuring in inches today. We want to be measuring in centimetres. So make sure you're using this side of the ruler. And again, we don't start at the end. We start on the 0. So let me go. Okay, actually, if I do it straight and then to the top, that is 10 centimetres exactly. Let's check Jim got it right. Oh, he did. Well done. 10 centimetres. And of course, we talked about this just a minute ago, that equals 100 millimetres. So if you're feeling really smart, you can do both centimetres and millimetres, or you can stick with centimetres. Okay. So we're doing that, and then as a bit of a warm-up, you've been measuring things around the house. If you'd like a challenge, maybe you can write some of those down in your book and convert them into millimetres. Right, and then later on Zoom, we would check that you've all got the right measurements for your beanstalks. Okay, speak to you later. Goodbye.